Welcome back to Business on City News 570, powered by Cowan Insurance and joined by Olivia Pocol. And she, of course, is with Cowan Insurance Group. She's a commercial account manager with the small business team. And Gregory, one of the things that we are always conscious of with every passing day, you can't get through a day without some sort of cyber attack somewhere in the world, whether it's in the Ukraine or a small business or people having threats against their data. It's out there, and cybersecurity is a big issue.
Yeah, Olivia, it drives me absolutely crazy. You get these phishing emails. You have absolutely no idea. They're starting to look more and more like legitimate emails. And, people are really confused. And I'm quite sure companies are really confused and need to make sure that they have the right insurance protection to cover them in the event of a cyber breach. So why don't you give us some information on what your advice is to businesses concerned about this area?
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Greg, for the introduction. You see, unlike physical threats that prompt immediate action, like you stop, drop, roll if you catch on fire, the cyber threats are often difficult to identify and understand.
Mm-hmm.
Cyber threats could include dangers such as viruses erasing entire systems, intruders breaking into systems and altering files, intruders using your computer or device to attack others, and intruders stealing confidential information. The spectrum of the cyber threats or risks is limitless. And some would pose more serious and sophisticated exposures than others. So no organization is immune to the impact of the cybercrime.
So the importance of having, as an example, and having the conversation with your broker to talk about your risks as it relates to cyber is important. Also to what kind of coverage for insurance products you might need, because if you get locked out of your data, and we've seen this with organizations of all size, where someone gets in, hacks in, and then has all your data, and you have to pay or you have to do something, otherwise your data is lost and your business is, in many cases, is gone. So, talk about the importance of having a professional that can tell you what your risk profile is and what coverages you should have in place to protect your business and your livelihood.
Yeah, this protection is offered through a cyber liability or privacy breach insurance. And that would be meant to protect this breaches involving sensitive customer information, disclosure injury, content injury, reputational injury, conduit injury, impaired access injury. And if we are to break down, we have two major types of cyber insurance. One would be the first party cyber insurance, and that includes incident response expenses, coverage data, recovery expenses, business interruption expenses, and extortion expenses. And the second major part of cyber insurance would be third party cyber coverage, and that is for network security and privacy liability, internet media liability, regulatory proceedings expenses, and so forth. Each market has its own wording and the naming could differ, but these are the two major coverage, first party and third party cyber insurance.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what? It's important that in highlighting this is we don't have the time to go through all the level of detail. What's important here is there are folks like you, Olivia, and others at Cowan Insurance or whoever your insurance broker is that you should be talking to as a small business in particular about what your risks are and the best way to protect your business. So encourage folks to kind of dig into that. Contact Olivia or one of her colleagues at Cowan Insurance Group. Thanks so much for joining us today, Olivia.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. We've been joined by Olivia Pocol. She is a commercial account manager in the small business team at Cowan Insurance Group.